the middle. Oh, no, that's a safety, baby. No, maybe forward progress. He might be down at the 1.
Yeah.
Nice stop by the front line.
Hello and welcome to West TV's production of Hills West Football. Today is our homecoming edition and senior day here at High School West. We're joining in progress. Hills West had the first possession of the game. They punted. Beautiful punt by Gerald Filardi down to the 1-yard line. And now it's second down after a run stop. Nearly a safety there.
Yeah, good first drive for the Colts. Stalled out a bit at midfield, but a great punt by Fan. And now we're looking to make a defensive stop.
Defensive stop, potentially a safety here. Got him backed up deep.
There's a QB run up the middle and nowhere to go. Physical on both lines. And the ball's out. Is that Keith Slaughter? And it's a fumble at the 2-yard line. And the Hills West Colts will get their second possession of the game, only 2 yards from 6 points.
Yeah, that's as good of a start you're going to get as the Hills West defense. Probably imagined you start off, you pin him at the 1, a couple stops, and then force the fumble. Definitely a huge play by Slaughter, one of the studs on the Hills West defense.
Yeah, definitely a huge play. Coming off a 17-14 loss last week, we were on the broadcast against the 6-0 West Hampton Hurricanes, and now the Colts at 5-1 will play the Islip Buccaneers, who sit at 2-4. Filardi in the shotgun with Griffin to his left. They'll run it up the middle, and he's in for a touchdown. To Kim Griffin, a 2-yard run, and the Hills West Colts have a 6-0 lead.
Homecoming game, a lot of emotions running wild. I think everyone's visualized what they wanted to do to start off this game, and it's exactly going to plan right now. Great job for the Colts.
Yeah, pretty good job. Nice run by Griffin there, and already making an impact here early after a monster performance last week. We talked about it on the podcast. We talked about it last week on the broadcast. 15 carries, 125 yards, and a touchdown last week against West Hampton. Pretty impressive, and you like to see him get off to a good start today.
Yeah, Brian, as you noted, Justin Brown as the PAT is up and good. So 7-0 Colts. As you noted, Brian, looks like Justin Brown is not dressed and will not participate in today's game. So Griffin and Sadiq Hines should get most of the carries out of the backfield.
Right, Justin Brown, he sustained that ankle injury in the last game. Their offense was not quite the same without him, and we'll see how they can respond today, having a week to game plan, having a week knowing that you're not going to have Brown out there with them.
Yeah, and it could be a good bounce-back game for the Hills West Colts, as Islip has lost 3 games in a row by exactly 3 touchdowns each. Their last game was a 34-13 home loss to the 4-2 Eastport South Manor team. So Islip coming in cold. Hills West, tough loss last week. So should be a good one, especially with Hills West at the top of the Division III standings.
Dug a nice little niche in the game plan here. We see Cedric Gordon, the big man, coming out to kick again.
In the podcast earlier this week, we were actually we did it right here on the booth, as many of you probably know, and we watched Cedric Gordon practice these kicks, and he's got quite a leg. So
he
very
does.
Interesting to watch.
Back to return is number 2 Ashman and Kolovic. They're at around the 20-yard line. That's where the kick will end up, and he potched it. And looks like he will jump right back on top of it. Ashman, number 2, with the fumble and recovery. And they'll get the ball at around the 23-yard line for their second possession of the afternoon.
A pretty good start for Hills West after that first drive. Not what you wanted. You wanted to score, get in that good field position to start. Great punt by Filardi, great defensive stop, put it right in again, and looking to make another stop here, Doug.
Yeah, the defense has been outstanding. If we're going off of that first drive, stopped the run both times and forced a fumble, which led to the DeKim Griffin 2-yard touchdown run, which puts Hills West up 7-0 here in the first quarter with 8:21 to go. And timeout for Islip. Let's go back to last week where Hills West lost 17-14. Gerald Filardi in that game was 3 for 10 for 48 yards. They didn't pass the ball too much. More passing in the second half, obviously, when Justin Brown exited the game. Davon Wright had 2 catches for 33 yards, including a beauty on the left sideline, a leaping grab. And Elliott Porter, the other wide receiver, had a catch for 15 yards, sliding grab at around the 20-yard line.
Yeah, it's interesting. The Davon Wright also had another catch, but it was called back for an illegal man downfield, and that was a huge play in that game. We were on the goal line, and it pushed us back. It was on 4th down, and we ended up not getting it, and that may be one of the reasons that we lost that game.
Yeah, that was definitely a game changer. A ton of plays last week. We saw that play, the drop at the end of the first half by Davon Wright. Did have a pretty good second half offensively, but that's a game Hills West will want back. They'll see West Hampton again, though. Not too worried about it.
Yeah, it looks like Wright is out at the right cornerback spot as they'll hand the ball up the middle. And the hole will close up quickly. That defense looks ferocious today.
There's Prucha and Manley in there on that stop. Love to see the big men getting involved.
So that is 3 run plays for Islip for a total yardage of 1.
We'll go with 1.
We'll go with
but
1.
It was also a fumble. So
correct.
They have not been very successful, we'll say.
Let's see if they open up the pass game. A lot of high school games, obviously, we've done a few broadcasts, rely on the run game heavily. And we'd expect that from Islip here. In motion. They'll hand it off. Could be a keeper. It is taken down at the 25-yard line. Looks like it was Cedric Porter. It was Cedric Gordon on the tackle, 77, as we highlighted earlier on. Solid player on the outside.
Right, we mentioned him as a kicker, but let's face it, he's an interior lineman. I mean, he's a beast.
Absolute monster. Islip does rotate in and out of their quarterbacks here.
Yeah, last play we saw number 8, Valentino Roselli, take that snap. He's listed as a defensive end and a running back, so maybe they bringing in a little wildcat formation for him. Not really sure.
Yeah, and here is Jen Jerkis under center. And he'll roll out to his right. Chased down by Seta. He'll throw out of bounds, nearly picked off by number 58, Joey Venezia. It will be 4th down and 8, and it should be a punt for Islip.
It's interesting. We highlighted it on last week's broadcast. Joey Venezia is one of the leading interceptors on all of Long Island for the class. So it's really interesting to see an outside linebacker, defensive end that's really a pass rusher and excels at that, be leading in interceptions like that.
So we saw a good punt from Filardi. Let's see what Islip has. Fielded by Hines at around the 40-yard line. He'll try and take it up the left side. He's got a little bit of room. There he goes through a hole. Hits a few tacklers down to the 39-yard line. And the Colts will start with the ball in solid territory.
Great return there by Hines. Very dynamic player when you give him some open space.
So the Colts with a 7-0 lead with 6:16 to go here in the first quarter. Filardi and the offense will trot back out there. We'll look for more of the Hills West run game to show themselves here on this drive with Griffin and Hines. This time it's Griffin in the backfield with Filardi under center. Hines out to the left. He comes in motion. It's going to be a run to Griffin. Nowhere to go. He stays on his feet. He's taken down a couple of yards behind the line of scrimmage. Looked like he almost broke free there.
Yeah, Islip's run defense looking pretty stout so far, pretty solid. And just wanted to point out, last drive, Islip had that pass play on 3rd and long. We had the pass, or Hills West had the pass play on 3rd and long drive before. And only 2 pass plays, but it doesn't look like either team's having any problem with the pass rush so far.
So it will be 2nd down. And they marked, it looks like they only took off 1 yard on the play. So it should be 2nd and 10.
Forward progress, I think, there, Doug.
Totally. And in the backfield, is that Karubia? Could be. Filardi. Play action fake. He'll look down the field, looking for Griffin. Oh, and it went right through his hands. He had the separation. Great route. Great play call, just could not come up with the catch.
And a great
so
throw,
it should be,
too.
yeah, it should be 3rd and 11.
And a great throw from Flaherty also. It's exciting to see him go downfield like that.
Yeah, and play action, too. We didn't really see a lot of that last week.
That was freed in the backfield?
I think so. 26, right?
So it should bring up 3rd and 11. Filardi almost connected for a touchdown with Griffin up the right sideline. Now he's in the shotgun. And there's a snap. Filardi will look to throw. Out route. Elliott. Porter with the grab, number 8.
Good concentration there by Porter on that play. Keeping not only one, but both feet in bounds.
So that's a 4th and 1. They got 10. They needed 11. So 4th and 1 at the 30-yard line. They'll hurry to the line. I believe that is freed in the backfield, 26, with Filardi under center, and he'll keep it himself.
Oh, looks like the ball popped loose.
And Frida picked it up. So that should be a turnover on downs after the recovery was